Why did God create us? Why did God create us? This question answers several other questions, or you can form that question in a different way. What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Why do I exist? What is the meaning of life? What is right and what is wrong? What is sin? And so when we can answer why did God create us, we can answer all the rest: the meaning of life, what is right and wrong, the purpose of existence, the purpose of your existence. Okay, so that's what we're gonna discover today. And my hope is that in your baptism, right, when you do decide to go through it, right, you will desire to live a different kind of life. You will carry this understanding of why God created you, right? And I pray that your life will be exponentially different and happier also, because those who with purpose, right, will live a happier life. God created us. Okay, that's the statement there. God created us to know, love, and display His glory. His glory. Okay, now let me ask, can you think of other words to replace the word glory? Glory seems like a very Bible word, right? Can you think of another word that to replace glory? Love. What else? Grace. Representation. Sean, I feel like you're saying uh, to love what he represents. Is it? Someone? Anybody else want to try? Light. Oh yeah, when we think about glory, we think about light, right? Like kind of thing, right? Yeah. Well, honor. I would use these three words: worth, value, and awesomeness. God created us to know His worth, to love His worth, and to display His worth. God created us to know His value, to love His value, and to display His value. God created us to know His awesomeness, to know how awesome He is. God created us to love His awesomeness, because you know, uh, not all of us love awesome people, right? Sometimes when we see awesome people, we get envious and get jealous, we get upset. And it can be same with God. We see His awesomeness and we like, how come He get to do all these things, but I don't get to? Why He's so king one? God created us to know, to love, and display His awesomeness, His glory. Okay, so that's my thesis statement. Let's look at the Bible verses to prove the point. Genesis 1, go for it.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish and the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth.
Thanks, Sean. God created man in His own image, and He says to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, right? You see this one, in the image He created him, male and female, He created them. Wow, this is going to be a hot topic issue very, very soon. But what are images for? God created man in His image, and then He says, multiply, be fruitful and multiply. There are like 7-8 billion images of God on this earth right now. What does that mean? What are images for? So if you open your webcam, right, I will be I'll be able to see in your room What kind of pictures are there, right? The photos or posters that you hang up around on your wall. Maybe it's a comic. Maybe it's a K-pop group. Uh, maybe it's some painting. But all these things on display, right? What do they tell me about you? They tell me what you love, what you treasure, what is important for you. You see this side, right? I got pictures there on my piano. Those are my niece and nephew. We don't have children, so we take extra effort to care for our niece and nephew. Uh, and so these pictures show that these people are important in our lives. It shows you what I celebrate, what I treasure. You think about statues. Uh, you go to Old Trafford, right? You will see a statue of who? Just checking with any MU fans. You or you go to a particular town, you see a statue of that someone. It shows that this person is important to the people of the town. They did something awesome and amazing that is worth celebrating. But actually, all these images, right? It also points to the original. So, for example, here there's a picture of Tiffany. Uh, that is not Tiffany. That's just a picture of Tiffany, right? But it tells you how Tiffany looks like. Shows you. It points and displays the original. So all of us are created in the image of God. What is our purpose? Our purpose is to show the world this is who God is. This is who we should celebrate. This is who we should rejoice in. This is how God looks like. This is the person that we must honor. This is the person that we must respect. So that's the purpose of all of us. We were all created to display, to show off who God is. That is the purpose of your life. Okay, I hope you take that and really treasure that, because uh, the the re the fact that you are alive today, God made you. Okay, it doesn't matter whether your parents plan you, or the circumstances by which you are born, or even by your family background and the opportunities you have. The fact that you are alive shows that God made you, right, to know, to love, and to display His glory, to show the world who God is. Let's read Isaiah 43, verse 7.
Everyone who is called by my name, whom I created for my glory, whom I formed and made.
Yep. Whom I created for my glory. All of us were created for God's glory. Okay, to enjoy, to know, to display His glory. Ephesians 1, 5 to 6.
Um, he predestined us for adoption to himself as sons through Jesus Christ, according to the purpose of his will, and to the praise of his glorious grace, with which he has blessed us in the beloved.
Yeah, thank you. He predestined us for adoption to Himself. All those who are children of God now, right? Why did He do that? Why did He bring us back and make us His children? To the praise of His glorious grace. Okay, another word for praise, please. Another word for praise. Praise is a verb. Give me another word for praise. Worship, 什么? Give me a normal, more normal one. Honor, congratulate. Adore. Wow, I like that word, adore. The most basic word that I can think of is compliment. Compliment His glorious grace. So we all become the children of God, right? He adopted us so that we will say, wow, God, thank you for your grace. Your grace is so amazing. Okay. Psalms 96, verse 3.
Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all the peoples.
This instruction, right? A command. Declare his glory. That means shout it all on the rooftops. Tell the world how awesome God is, how glorious, how amazing God is. That's what we live for. That's the purpose of our lives. 1 Corinthians 10:31.
So, whether you eat, drink, or whatever you do all to the glory of God.
This one is, think about it, the simplest things of your life, whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. This one is clear as day already. This is the purpose of our lives. If you are created, if you are alive today, right, this is your purpose, to do everything to show God's glory, to display God's glory. Psalm 3 for 23, Romans 3:23. Sorry, Romans 3:23.
For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Yeah. What is sin? Sin is falling short of the glory of God. We don't live up to the glory of God. The glory of God is worth this much, right? But those who sin, right, will fall short of the glory. The way we live our lives don't match that awesomeness. Yeah, I think about it this way: your mom prepares a dish. It is some fish, okay, and for you, it's just some fish, okay, and you eat it like that, it is just some fish, but actually, what your mom prepared was sashimi, It's like expensive. It was imported all the way from Japan, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be, but it's supposed to be like super high class, but your reaction is like, oh, it's some fish. What are you doing? You have fall short of the glory of the sashimi. That's sin. You fall short of the glory of God. Okay, this question for you. So you hear all this, right? Now let me ask you this question. Would you call God prideful? Let me ask Sean. Would you call God prideful? Since we are created for his glory, we're supposed to live for his glory. Seems like everything we do is supposed to be for his glory. And when we don't live for his glory, it seems like it's sin. So is God prideful, wanting us to praise him all the time? You wouldn't use that term to describe him? Why not? Michelle, what do you think? Would you call God prideful? No, and why? Why won't you? Because there are many people who do. Brad Pitt, Oprah Winfrey. For them, it seems like this God is just like desperate for people's attention, desiring people to worship him and adore him and to compliment him. Oh, it's because it's like thanking God for all that he's done for us. So Sean said pride is when you expect more than what you are. So you feel like whatever God demands, he actually deserves. Michelle also sort of say that, right? We are thanking God for what he has done for us. It's not like he just sit back and fold his arms and he's like a dictator and all that and he doesn't care about us. But no, right? This God loves us, right? And he's very generous with us, right? What about Doris? What do you think, Doris? Would you call God prideful? Because he sent his son. Oh, making Jesus Oh yeah, he was willing to come low, right? So you wouldn't call him prideful. In fact, he was willing to humble himself, right? Wow, cool. Thank you everybody for so good answers. Um, Let me give you mm, one illustration. Yep. Yeah lah. I think most of you all heard this illustration before. Um, to urge someone, to plead with someone, to love something better is to love them. When you introduce your friend to nasi kandar restaurant, right? And the friend say, I want to go to that nasi kandar restaurant, but you know that one famous for people getting food poisoning one. And just recently only the Ministry of Health and all that come and shut them down for a while. So you know, but then there's the other nasi kandar store that's super king and super awesome one. What would you ask your friend to do? Would you let your friend say, whatever lah, you decide wherever you want to eat lah? Or would you say, no man, listen, I know a better place, right? If you love your friend, you will convince that friend to go to a better place. Some of y'all got friends, right? Go and date shitty people, right? All noob guys and noob girls, right? And you're like, Betan, it's like, no, why are you doing this to yourself, right? And you wish you can just sit that person down and like shake them out of their confusion, right? And to like tell them, hey man, you deserve better than this, right? And um yeah, this famous illustration. This one I always use one. You know the illustration about the pea and the drink, right? Your boba, right? It's your birthday, and someone who hates you say, I'm gonna buy boba, but I'm gonna put pea inside. And then there's another one, your best friend, and your best friend knows exactly what you want. Both of them come and give you the drink. Happy birthday, right? Now your friend knows that the other person brought pee because your friend knows that this person hate you. And you're like, you're given these two choices, and you ask, which one should I drink first? And you're like, whatever lah, drink whatever you want lah, it's okay. Even though my one is better, I won't tell you. Even though the other one is bad, I won't tell you. No, actually, you would go out of your way, right? You will like, I need to talk to you. I need to tell you something. This is really important. This is really urgent. You need to drink this boba that I bought, right? You will go to that extent because you love that person. So for God to invite us, right, to say, I want you to declare my glory. I want you to uh, show the world, to display. I want you to praise my glory, right? It's an invitation, to love this amazing thing. I want you to experience this awesomeness, and so that you would enjoy it and you will want to share it to the world. And the awesomeness that God offers is Himself. I want you to know and love and understand how awesome I am. And I want you to display my glory. Because that is the greatest thing you can experience. That is what God is inviting us to. So is it pride? No, it is love. So I asked this question: how can we glorify God? Let's see how this class answers. What are ways we can glorify God? Now, please think carefully, because we went through all these passages. We use these illustrations, right? How can we glorify God? How can we show people how awesome God is? What would you say? Okay, everybody give your answer. Make sure everybody give your answer. Everyone gives an answer. Okay, Sean, Stewart, Kaijun, Doris, Jason, Joel, Michelle. Praying before a meal could be glorifying God. Showing good example in public. Be forgiving. Be a good example. Telling others about God's goodness. Dedicating everything you do to Him. Thanks, guys. I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, praying before a meal could glorify God, right? You're showing your thanks and your gratitude to Him. When you forgive others, right? I think that's important because you're showing that your anger is not the most important thing. Your uh, whatever, however people have hurt you, right, is not the most important thing. The most important thing in your life is I have offended God, but He has offered me great forgiveness. And so how can I withhold my forgiveness from the person who hurt me? Because this God, this amazing God, has offered His forgiveness freely. I forgive. I think that displays God's glory. Yeah. Do things because you love God. Yeah. That your motivations, right, is just because you love God, right? Being a good example. Thank you, everybody. Love all your answers. And I hope you live that way with the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I give you my answer. Yeah. This is not really my answer, but this is what I learned. That statement there below the box. God is most glorified in us, glorified when we are most satisfied in Him. God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in Him. I'll explain that after Michelle read Jeremiah 2.
My people have committed two sins. They have forsaken me, the spring of living water, and have dug their own cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold water.
Mm. Thanks, Michelle. My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the founder of living waters, and hew out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So it's like that, huh? You are there's fountain of there's like water, gushing out, and you're like, nah, I don't want that. Then you go look to the other side, it's like there's muddy, then there's a patch of water there, and you're like, yeah, I want that. I don't want that. I want that. It's like that's craziness. That's craziness. God calls it evil. That's evil. When you see God as the fountain of living water, right? He satisfies my every need. He gives me everything I ever need and more. If I stay here, if I love Him, if I am committed to Him, right? I I'll just receive the best that He has to offer. When we are satisfied in God, right? We say, I here. I want to stay here forever. I don't want to go anywhere else. This fountain of living water is perfect for me. I'm always satisfied here. I'm not going anywhere. When you say that about God, God is most glorified. Let me give this Philippians 1. I'm going to read that and then I'm going to give you an illustration. Philippians 1, 20 to 21. As it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all shamed, but that with full courage, now as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or by death. For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. So for Paul, right? I mean, if you read on the text all the way until verse 26, you'll understand what he means. To live is Christ. So he says, whether by life or by death, all I care about is Christ is honored in my body. Okay, and then he said, to live is Christ. That means if I live right, I'm gonna stay on right. My whole life will be dedicated to glorify Christ. To die is gain, right? He said to die is gain because, right, if I die, I get to be with God. I get to see Him face to face. I get to dwell in his presence. And later on he says, right, that is far better for me. Yes, if I'm still alive, I will live for him. But when I die, right, oh man, the joy, the excitement, I can't wait to be with God. That is the attitude of Paul. And I pray that that's our heart. Lah. I don't want to say that we should be like that. I'm telling you, when you understand how awesome God is, when you know his value, when you love his value, when you treasure him, right, you will become that kind of person like Paul. That whenever you're alive, right, you're gonna live for his glory, and the thought of death, right, is like it's joy to you because you're gonna be with Christ. I know it feels kind of morbid for this age group of people. It's like, oh, I want to get married, I want to travel the world, I want to. But I think even for young people, when we understand the greatness of God, and to think that death is not an end, but it's a gateway to experience God fully. Yeah, I think you will be excited. While we are alive, as God calls us to live, our calling is to glorify Him. Okay, illustration, right? God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in Him. So this illustration is by John Piper. That statement is by John Piper. If you want, you can Google who John Piper is. John Piper. So he tells the story. So it's my anniversary. Okay, this December we're gonna celebrate 12 years anniversary. My 13 years. My wife 13th anniversary. So imagine that the day after I come back from work, right? I go home. I got the keys, but instead of going into the house by myself, I ring the doorbell. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And then May comes out, right? And it's like, hey, what happened? No key, why you ring the doorbell? And then from the back, boom, bouquet of flowers, And it's like, happy anniversary. Then she's like, oh, you didn't have to. Why you bought me flowers? So sweet. Then I say, oh, actually, I read the book on how to please your wife, right? And according to that book, right, if I don't buy you a bouquet of flowers tonight, right, during our most important day, our anniversary, right, I will suffer a lot. It won't be easy for me tonight, and more than tonight. So, right, that's why, right, I decide to buy you this bouquet of flowers because it's the right thing to do. Now, how do you think my wife would feel? Comment. Hello, are you there? Hello. Somewhat confused. Only that reason? Yeah, if it's only that, if that's the only reason, I think May will be. I think should be offended. It's like, you're doing this just because you're worried that you're gonna have a bad time. You're scared I'm angry. You're scared I don't like. You do it because you read it in a book that you must do it. Oh, that's bad. Okay, change scenario, right? Same situation, anniversary. I come back home, ring the doorbell, and she opens. Hey, what happened to you? Why you didn't? Then bouquet of flowers. Happy anniversary. Then she's like, oh, you didn't have to. That's so sweet. Then it's like, then my answer is, oh, I know I don't have to, but I want to. I just love to see you smile. And I know that these flowers are your favorite. And you know what? Tonight, right, I already booked a restaurant for us to go out. And I really want to spend time with you. Nothing makes me happier than to spend time with you. How will May feel? Will she be upset? Will she say, all you care is about making yourself happy, Nothing makes you happier than to spend time with me, All you care is about your feeling, No, right? She will be, she'll be happy. It's like the reason, what will make me happy is her, spending time with her. She becomes the object of my joy, right? The object of my delight. A lot happier. Yeah. And it's the same lah with God. And you think about that. Um, why do you want to follow God? Why do you want to get baptized and tell the whole world that you're following Jesus? Why do you want to? It's kind of like marriage. You're gonna walk down the aisle. You're gonna declare your love to someone publicly, to your loved ones and all that. And then you say, oh, you know what? Because if I don't do this, I'll go to hell. And I kind of want to get on his good side, because he's God and everything, and he does promise some good things, for those who follow him. And so yeah, maybe I think it is the wisest option. Rather than that, right? How about your answer is like, oh, because he's amazing. And I read my Bible when I hear preachers, right, preach the word, I come to understand how great this God is, how much he loves us, and how gracious and how kind and how merciful he is. And I can't help but be drawn to him, to submit to him, because I believe that if I follow him, right, it will bring me greatest joy. God is most glorified in us when we are most satisfied in him. So, before we, Joel, you got a question? No? Yes, no? Okay, let me say one more statement, then I'll open up for question. Okay. Tonight, right, I want you to write something. Why are you a Christian? I want you to think about it. Write it. Okay. And then I want you to privately message me. I won't reply. I will ask questions lah, just to clarify what you mean. But I want you to answer honestly. Don't give me Sunday school answer. Don't give this is what pastor wants. But really think about it. Why are you a Christian? Why do you want to stay a Christian? Why do you want to get baptized? Okay, send to me tonight. Just don't have to write essay lah. One or two sentences can already lah. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Are you still there? Tara? All good. Okay. So everybody know your assignment, yeah? Tonight? PM me, yeah? All right. We are done. I will see you next week, or I'll see you this Sunday if you're coming for youth service. If not, I'll see you next Monday again with class 3 and 4.